Good afternoon, my fellow dirty gardeners. My name is Iron, the Dirty Dragon. I'm going to do a video today about ornamental grasses. I did a little bit of a feature thing on my Facebook page showing a number of different grasses that I have and what they're good for. So I'm going to do the same here, but I'm going to do it more in a I've got something in my eye, probably cat hair. Anyway, I'm going to show you some of the ones that I have and their various places that I've got them and the conditions that they're good for. I'm not going to go into bamboos, even though I do have bamboos and they are grasses, because those are a very sort of niche category for the garden, and they also are a love-hate type of thing for a lot of people, including myself. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to sort of start on one end of the garden and I'm going to walk all the way through and show you a variety of different colors, textures, heights, forms, and conditions that they grow in. And we'll just have fun with grass. All right, first one on the list today. This is Miscanthus giganteus. Really gorgeous. Tall, 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 tall. Look up, way up. This can go to 10 to 12 feet tall. Beautiful clumping form. Sterile, so there's no chance of it self-seeding or anything like that. Great substitute for bamboo because it doesn't run, and also very drought tolerant once it's established. This is a variegated variety, of course, as you can see. In the springtime, just like most other grasses, you can cut this back to pretty much the ground, maybe 6 inches or so. I would use a reciprocating saw if it were me, and it is me sometimes. And then you can use these stakes as garden stakes, just like you could with bamboo. So excellent form for a place. If you want privacy, you just need to wait for a few years for it to grow larger into a clump, more dense, and then it's an excellent privacy hedge type thing as well, except of course in the springtime while it's still growing. This grows the entire height in one season, so it's very fast growing, similar to a bamboo, but much better behaved. You're a good one. You're a good boy, aren't you? Yes. So that's Miscanthus giganteus. Excellent for height, privacy, drought tolerance, well behaved. Yeah, that's good. All right, so that's that. Second one, Japanese forest grass. Everybody's seen this one, I'm sure. Really beautiful and often seen under a Japanese maple, like I have it. This particular variety is called all gold. You can see why. So this is a shade grass, and it does not like to dry out. This is what happens when it is exposed to sun and dry. This happened during that heat spell that we had in this summer, where it was kind of like cold, 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 hot. Did that. Flowers are very pretty too, but they're not really the focal point. It's really all about the shape of it. It's a gorgeous, mounding, very graceful grass. It spreads by runners underground. I'll see if I can show you down there. So it can get quite woody at the base. Again, I just use a reciprocating saw. You could use like an axe or a pickaxe or something too if you wanted to divide it that way, but a reciprocating saw works really, really well. I find it too tough to divide by just a shovel. A knife, like a good sharp knife, you could also do that if you just want to take a small chunk off. It will go kind of a tan color in the fall, and it's deciduous, so it'll die back to almost nothing, and then in the springtime it'll come back out again. You can clean it up in spring, or you can clean it up wintertime, doesn't really matter. I don't bother with winter. It's just kind of, it just kind of looks like crap, and I'm not out there really. I'm inside painting. But anyway, beautiful for adding like a bright shady or color in a shady spot, and keep it moist. It likes to be moist. So that is, the botanical name is Hakone Cloa macra, and then it's all gold is the cultivar. Japanese forest grass. This is another one that I've got growing in the shade because of the bright color. In the springtime it's more gold. Right now it's kind of a chartreuse lime green. This is a carex. Carexes are very fond of water, but they will adapt to pretty much anything, and they will self-seed quite happily in a lot of cases. This one in particular I've never had. I don't know why, but this one in particular is never self-seeded. However, the brown foliage ones will self-seed like a mofo. So I don't know what's going on there, but anyway, they're good in part shade to full sun, and like I said, they like moisture, so you can actually grow them in a pond up to 6 inches. So if you have a bog or a pond or something like that that's really moist, Carex is a good choice for that. This one's called Evergold. Again, the color of the foliage is pretty obvious. And the flowers are these little guys here, nothing really exciting. So yeah, it's not about the flowers. Some grasses it is, not this one though. So that's a Carex called Evergold, very small variety, clumping. It doesn't spread very fast and it doesn't get aggressive. So well behaved, good for pots as well, and sort of a nice mounding form. Here's another pretty Carex. This one is called Prairie Fire. Nice golden color. If it's stressed out, it's more gold. If it's in part shade or it's got lots of water, it tends to be more on the greenish side. This is all the old foliage from like exposure to the sun. And then the newer foliage is coming up and it's green, as you can see. But in the sunshine, when it's under stress, it will actually turn quite a nice sort of bronzy color. Seeds are quite pretty, the seeds and flowers. They look like little tiny pine cones. And this one is one of the Carexes that self-seeds like crazy. She's a very seedy girl, bit slutty. I'm going to show you how slutty. There, and there. Luckily it's clumping, so it's very easy to pull out. I'm not concerned whatsoever. Here's a nice... See, this is in the pathway here where it doesn't get as much water. That's more of an example of the color that it can get in the summer heat. That nice sort of golden color there. A little bit taller than the Evergold that you saw just a minute ago, and it is a nice mounding form. Again, pretty nice in a container as well. And it will grow in the water, no problem. So if you've got a really moist spot, that's good. It's good in full sun and part shade, but if you want the full color, then again, like hot sun and not the greatest water. Once it's established, if you just let it go without watering it, and it's not established, it'll just croak and it'll hate you and you will suck. So that is Carex Prairie Fire. This one is my absolute favorite of the bluest grasses. This is called Elymus magellanicus. Yes, Elymus magellanicus. Blue wheatgrass. Really, really stunning, true blue grass. I have it paired with a Knipophia here. Look at those two together. Whoa. And then earlier in the year, I have a Trollius here that's a pale yellow. I don't really like pale yellow. It's more of a like a sunshiny, lemony yellow. And again, like it goes with this blue one so beautifully. It's just gorgeous. And when all three of them are going off, oh my god. Elymus does not like to dry out, and it needs rich, moist soil. It didn't do much for me for like 3 years. It just was like this wimpy little piece of shit with like, I don't know, 5 blades or something like that. But the color of it was enough to make me go, okay, well, whatever, take your time. Some of us are late bloomers, you know, just that's fine, whatever. And then this year it's just gone and exploded and become this beautiful, beautiful like feature in this particular bed here. What else can I say about it? I have seen it flower, but only once, and that was last year. And the flowers, I don't even remember them. So I guess they weren't all that spectacular, unlike some. But this one is all about the foliage, really. It grows to about 24 inches tall, I guess. So it's not a super tall one, but it is a good sort of foil for a bunch of other green type things. Not that that has anything to do with height. That was just a little leap there. Look at how well it stands out though, hey? It's just such a beautiful, beautiful color. It would be nice, actually, to have something nearby that is glaucous or white, like Dusty Miller maybe, or I have an Artemisia that's kind of a seafoam green color that would also look really, really nice nearby. Something like that, except that those like to be dry and these guys like to be wet. So I don't know. Anyway, I think there's a lot of things that you could pair it with, like literally anything that likes moisture and good quality soil will be happy with this, and it's gonna just be beautiful no matter what. So don't let it dry out. Give it good food. Like this has gotten several doses of horse manure over the last couple years, and now it's finally just like, yeah, I like it here. So that's Elymus magellanicus. Right over here next to my pond, I have Stipa gigantea. The bottom looks like nothing really exciting. It gets to be a mound of about maybe 3 feet tall, and it'll just keep going. It's a nice alternative to pampas grass if you like the type of effect of pampas grass. These are the seed heads here. Beautiful, rich, rich, rich gold. The flowers are also super cute and fancy. And if you have it somewhere, hang on, there we go. If you have it growing somewhere where it can catch the light and the wind, it's just really gorgeous. It puts on a show from about, I would say, late June, mid-July, until you decide to cut it back. I don't think you would need to worry about cutting that part back unless it looks like shit. I have never cut it back, I don't think. But then my memory is shit too, so maybe I do. It's been in the ground. I started it from seed about, 3 or 4 years ago. So it's really just kind of starting to get established over here. And eventually I'm hoping it'll take up kind of that whole area over there and just be like this beautiful mass of these gorgeous flowers against the pond, and against, when the light comes in the evening from that end. Yeah. So that is Stipa gigantea. Oh, and in terms of what it needs, yes, stipas are all incredibly drought tolerant once they're established. So give it well-drained soil, get it established, like maybe plant it in the fall so that it can get established over winter. Just make sure it drains, otherwise it's going to drown and it'll go yellow and it'll hate you. And then once it's established, you can pretty much go without watering it at all in the summertime. It might go yellow. This guy gets irrigation, but it's in well-drained soil, so it stays green. But it might go yellow and just kind of go like to a state of dormancy if you don't water it at all. But the crown will survive because it's very tough that way. So Stipa gigantea. Here's another one I've got by my pond. Very, very airy, fairy, pretty, dainty one. This is Deschampsia gold tau. Looks like nothing until about beginning of August, late July. It's just a green mound. And then these flowers come out and it looks so, so, so beautiful. Again, it's like amazing when the light catches it or the wind moves it or water droplets get on it. It's just such a delicate, dainty little flower. It's going to stay this color and it's going to keep its form for, up until the shittiest winter parts, when we get like pouring rain and frosts and snow and stuff like that. I have it paired with, this guy is on its way out for the season. It's not dead, it's not anything like that, but it's an eryngium. And when they're both in bloom, like both doing their thing, it's a really beautiful pairing. You can also pair it with dianthus, which is a very delicate flower too, and that would really set off this type of foliage, the flowers, but it's just such a pretty. I love little dainty things like this. They're just so whimsical. That's the word for it. They're whimsical. So this is Deschampsia gold tau. Again, drought tolerant. It's in very sandy soil. It does get irrigation, but I don't think it needs a lot of water once it's established. Maybe once in the worst part of the year. But again, like the Stipa over there, it'll probably just go dormant if you don't water it. I wouldn't want to go without watering it at all, just in case, because it's well worth having in your garden, and I don't know if it would die. But anyway, so yeah, water in the worst parts of the year, like the middle of July or when we get those heat domes or whatever. Otherwise, it doesn't need a lot. Deshempsia goldtown. Another lovely by my pond. This is a beautiful, stiff, erect grass. This is Calamagrostis. Calamagrostis? I'm pretty sure it's Calamagrostis. It's called Eldorado. You've probably seen the variety called Carl Forster. That's more common than Eldorado. This one is a variegated form, so that's why I got it. I like the variegated grasses. They just offer a little bit of a different color tonage. Flowers are very pretty, sort of tan color, and they will last for quite a long time. So you can leave them over winter. They'll begin to fall, you know, as the worst part of the winter comes along, the winds and the rains and stuff. But don't cut it back until spring, just like most of the other grasses. Again, very drought tolerant. So like the Deshempsia, which is over there by the pond, you don't need to water it too much during the summer, just in the hottest parts of the summer, and I think it would be fine. If it does dry out, it's just going to go more like this tan color rather than the green. It does need good drainage, though. That's one thing about this particular kind. It shouldn't be in heavy clay, or like, it probably wouldn't be as stiff if it's it probably wouldn't be as stiff if you put it into like super rich soil. But I'm just guessing, because a lot of the things that are like stiff yes, I have a gutter mind. A lot of the things that are stiff without good soil look like crap in good soil. Oh my god. Anyway. Oh, Iron, just get a hold of yourself. This is Calamagrostis Eldorado. There's a lovely one that's got more browny pink tones. Again, it's a Carex. How amazing is that, right? We've got so many Carexes. Thinner blades and more upright than some of the other ones. It does tend to sort of drape, so it's a nice one for pots, small pots. And the colors, like here, I'll see if I can just get a closer up shot of the colors here. It ranges from like this beautiful sort of browny color to these gorgeous, they're reddish pinky tones. Really, really lovely. With all of these grasses, you can cut them back in the spring just to refresh them to about maybe 4 or 5 inches from the ground. That's where I do it too, because if you do it less than that, then you've got all this shitty stuff coming up here that's just looks awful. And if you do it lower than that, well, I just find it's probably not the best for the plant because it's getting too close to the crown, and it's just a little more vulnerable then, I guess. That's my reasoning. Maybe I'm just lazy, I don't know. Yeah, so I picked this one because I absolutely adore the pinky tones in it, and it's a very nice foil for all of the other things I have around it. Plays very nicely with my Japanese maple here, which is already starting to pull its colors for the fall. Amazing. It's like, what is it, mid-August, and it's already pulling its colors. So that one is Carex tenui something. I'll add it. Tenui, the cultivar name is Cappuccino. That much I know. It's a Carex Cappuccino. Yes. The tenui part, I don't remember. Although I like saying tenui. It sounds fun. But yeah, so that's Carex Cappuccino. Alright, another Carex. Because, you know, we love the Carexes around here. They are good characters. This is in a pot, as you can see. Really tough in the gravel soil if you want to put it in gravelly or sandy soil. Relatively drought tolerant, although it prefers moisture. It looked like absolute crap. I cut it back at the beginning of the year and I wasn't sure if it was going to come back. And it did, and it's looking amazing now. This one is really pretty because it's got a very, very bright, it's called Gold Strike, very bright cream center to it. So it's really quite a striking one against other greens and blues and such. Excellent texture, full sun or part shade. I'm not going to say anything else about it because it's a Carex, and I've told you about Carexes many times already. So anyway, so that's Gold Strike. Okay, here's a beautiful miscanthus. Again, like these guys grow 6 to 8 feet tall when they're happy and well established. Probably 4 to 5 feet tall if they're not very happy. So they'll have stunted growth if they're in crappy soil. They are very adaptable though. So I have it in, well, it used to be shitty soil and I've amended it, but it's under the eaves. So it, yeah, anyway. This one is a miscanthus called Zebrinus for obvious reasons. Very striking pattern. It will put off beautiful silvery plumes similar to a pampas grass in the late fall, mid to late fall. Hasn't done that yet, but it will be soon. And they can last all through the winter, and they catch the light in a spectacular way. Really, really beautiful. Again, good for privacy, at least during the late summer and winter. You can cut it back in the spring because it will look tatty. This will all go kind of like a golden color once it's coming on to winter time. And a couple years back, I was outside in springtime, early spring, and the seed heads were still doing their floofy thing, and I noticed that a hummingbird was collecting the seeds, the floofy seeds for its nest. So I thought that was super cool. I think that was in like February, a couple years back. So you're helping the birds. These kind apparently are the ones that can be invasive. I have never had one self-seed in my garden. So I don't know, maybe our conditions are not right for it here, but or maybe the birds eat the seeds, but then the hummingbirds wouldn't be claiming them for their nests. So mathematics equations all around my head right now. I have no idea. Anyway, that is a gorgeous, striking variety called Zebrinus, Miscanthus zebrinus. Okay, so incidentally, if you are interested in buying miscanthus grass, there are a large variety of miscanthus, and they come in pretty much all the same sort of green. Some are variegated, but one of the neat things is the fall color. They do actually have quite a variety of fall color. I have one called Dragon something. Had to buy it, of course, because dragons, you know. But it goes like this beautiful, like bronze, red, pink color in the fall. And so if you are buying miscanthus to fill a space where you want a taller grass, look on the tag to see what the fall colors are like. Some of them are just kind of like a normal yellowy color, and some of them are really quite spectacular. So, okay, I'm gonna look for some more grasses for you. All right, I'm guessing most people know this one. This is called black mondo grass. It's not actually a grass, but it fits that that niche in the garden. So I'm going to include it. It's Ophiopogon nigricans or nigriscens. Can't remember exactly, but again, like I'll just add it. New growths can sometimes be just plain green, but just like down in there, you can see there, just give it time. It'll blacken up as the season progresses and as it has aged a little bit. It's actually quite striking though, because you get this like combination of tones here. It spreads rapidly if it's happy and it's in really rich soil by underground rhizomes. So if you want it to behave, put it in thinner soil. This is a shade grass. It does not like sun. This crap here, that's what it'll look like if it gets sun. This is actually last year's growth, but it's just to show you what it will look like if you give it sunshine. It'll burn on the ends, and it just looks really unhappy. It's very sad. It'll sing sad songs. You might want to get out a little violin for it. In the summertime, it has really pretty flowers that are kind of this purple. This is not the flower of it, but that color. And then in the fall, it's just starting to put them out now, but these little glossy berries down here will turn black. So it's quite ornamental for many different reasons. It is a really nice foil, again, for offering contrast to green things and gold things. I have some fall flowering crocus that are kind of a pale purple, the same color as its flowers, that come up right next to it, and they are just stunning. The two of them together, the purple and the black, really, really beautiful. This guy also likes a lot of moisture, doesn't like to be dry. So again, if you want it to behave, put it in drier soil that's thinner. If you have it in good quality garden soil, I ripped out quite a lot that was all over and around there and starting to go into that grass. So it can get a bit of a thuggy. It would work in a container, but again, like, just keep an eye on it in terms of water, the heat, and if you're going to put it in a container, then make sure you do put it in good quality soil. It doesn't matter because it won't spread, right? So that way you're not going to get like brown, gross, dried up shit like that. All right, here we have the dreaded pampas grass. Shock, horror. I actually really enjoy this one, though it is a very fast spreader. This is Cortaderia. I think it's called Little Goblin or something like that. Don't quote me on that. Again, I will add it. Variegated variety. Very out, very nasty to touch. Out. Yeah, it's very, very serrated on the edges. Very nasty. If you're running your fingers along it the wrong way, it'll catch and just, yeah. So cover yourself if you're going to deal with it. One of the best ways to prune these is to use a reciprocating saw or burn it. Burn it to the ground. It has plumes just like a normal one, but it doesn't grow much taller than about 4 or 5 feet at the most, probably closer to like 3 to 4 feet. It's getting to about 40 inches or so in my garden now, and it's just starting to flower because it's only been in the garden for a couple years. When it starts to look like this shit here, burn it. Obviously not if you have a spruce hedge right next to it, or a cedar hedge or whatever, and it's dry, don't do that. But if you can, burn it, because get your freaking, like, what do I have? I have a little, one of those little kitchen, you know, the things. Fuck, what are they called? For making creme brulee. Oh my God. Like a hand torch, right? Okay, you guys get it. Anyway, I use that, and I just, except not this one because it's right next to the cedar hedge, and I didn't, or whatever the fuck that is. I don't know if that's, I don't know what that is. But anyway, so don't burn it if it's close to something else. If it's out in the middle of freaking nowhere, burn it. Because that'll really, really rejuvenate it and make it healthy and happy and beautiful. And the ashes are good for it. So, or you can also divide it. Just use a reciprocating saw and cut out all the dead shit. Like, look at that. Oh my God, it's like just totally rotten through. That was from last winter. So yeah, if it starts to look tatty like this, just get out the reciprocating saw and like cut it and then replant it without this shitty stuff in there. So you don't, if you don't want it to look like that, which I hate it. I don't, it's ugly. Pampas grass plumes are really nice in arrangements, and you just have to cut them like early, because if they've gone to seed, then they're gonna like shed their seeds all over everything, and you definitely don't want that in the house. Very nice for outdoor arrangements, like by the front door and that kind of shit. Yes, I do that. So I'm going really, really on this. I'm sorry. Okay, so this is Cortaderia, or dwarf pampas, and I'm not going to give the cultivar just in case I've got it wrong, but I will add it. One that's kind of been hammered by the storm that we just had. Very upright and soft, flowing form. And the seeds, the flowers, I should say, are really lovely. This is called Carly Rose. It's a pennisetum, Carly Rose. So the flowers start off with this beautiful pink and purple. I'm going to go right in close so you can see the sex organs. Look at that. And she's got a full natural bush. That's very sexy. So this is Pennisetum Carly Rose. Very adaptable to drought once established. Doesn't like a lot of water or she'll flop. And then as they age, they look like this. They go this kind of tan, pale yellow color. And then these guys will just fall off. And this will all go gold. I have it in a really burning hot area here. And I moved it over here because it was in an area that got a lot more moisture, and it just would always flop and look like crap. So hold the moisture. I just want to show you. This one little flower here that's trying to... Flower.exe has crashed. It's stuck in there. Isn't that cute? Last one on the tour. So freaking gorgeous. This girl is so gorgeous. She's so hot. So hot right now. Oh my god. The lighting is crap. It doesn't show off how gorgeous she is. Like, she's a just stunning red grass. I wish I could somehow capture it, but the edges range from like this there. That's a good angle there. From this gorgeous red to like a peachy, salmony type tone. So it's like a variegated kind, but it's got dark green, like an olive green, and then these beautiful pinkish, reddy tones in it. So yes, okay. I'm not going to sleep with it, I promise. This is called Uncinia rubra, and the variety is called Belinda's Find. It's also got a different name, which I will add when I do the video. I lost mine last winter and just replaced it finally because it's probably one of my favorite grasses. I like grasses a lot, but this one is just such a stunning red that I was devastated when I lost it. It will self-seed. It's got these little kind of like hooky type seeds that catch on your gloves and on your pants and stuff like that. But personally, I really like that about it. It is very drought tolerant in terms of seeding itself, but I would make sure that it stays well watered while it's getting established. And if we're going to get another like shitty winter like that cold snap we had last year, you may either want to like mulch the whole thing if you are more concerned about grasses. You know, if you're like me and you have a favorite, mulch it, or yeah, like add a bucket over top of it or something. You could do that too, just to keep like the frost and the cold wind off. The snow isn't a problem. It's mostly just like when it's raining and then suddenly frosting and everything freezes, and it's just like that's hard on the crown. So that is Uncinia rubra, Belinda's Find. So beautiful. Look how beautiful she is. Okay. A friend of mine introduced me to a word that I absolutely adore, and you guys are going to think this is a blast because it's perfect for me. When somebody is like really into plants, like really into plants, she said they're hortisexual. Isn't that awesome? I am such a hortisexual. Okay, so that's it for all my grasses. No, I don't grow grass. I grow grasses, but not the grass. And I hope that you have learned something interesting. Okay. Peace out, bitches.